Abdiweli Mohamed Ali, also known as Abdiweli Mohamed Ali Gas, is a Somali American economist, professor and politician. He served as the Prime Minister of Somalia from June 2011 to October 2012, and briefly afterwards as an MP in the newly formed Federal Parliament. During his time as Premier, Ali is credited with having devised the formal roadmap for the end of transition, a political process that provided clear benchmarks leading toward the establishment of permanent democratic institutions in the country. On 8 January 2014, he was elected the 5th President of Puntland. During his tenure as the regional state's president, Ali launched a new biometric fishery database, strengthened bilateral cooperation with the European Union in the security and development sectors, initiated taxation reform with regard to international organizations working in Puntland, established a new mutual consulate agreement with Yemen, finalized a 5-year development plan for Puntland, strengthened bilateral cooperation with the United Arab Emirates and Australia, launched new road, airport and seaport development initiatives in Bosaso and other local areas in conjunction with Djibouti, China and UNHABITAT officials, and successfully concluded the Galgala campaign against the Al-Shabaab militant group. He also signed a 12-point bilateral agreement in Garo with Prime Minister of Somalia Abdiweli Sheikh Ahmed, which officially reaffirms Puntland's boundaries, agrees to form a united and inclusive national army, and establishes parliamentary committees consisting of federal and Puntland representatives to ensure equitable allocation of resources and oversee eventual provisional constitution talks. Additionally, Ali led Puntland delegations at global business and development conferences in Ethiopia and the United Kingdom, with the goal of highlighting the regional state's commercial potential, establishing business partnerships, and securing funding and mega-development projects in the energy, agricultural and security sectors. He also established a governmental committee to formulate an official money remittance policy for the Puntland regional state. Background. Personal life. Ali is originally from the autonomous Puntland region in northeastern Somalia. He holds both Somali and American citizenship. He is multilingual, being fluent in Somali, Arabic, Italian and English. Ali is married to Dr. Nchi, a University at Buffalo economics professor and founder of HEAL, a Buffalo-based NGO. The couple have 4 children. Education. Ali was educated in various universities around the world, but initially studied in Mogadishu, Somalia's capital. In 1984, he earned a Bachelor of Arts in Economics from the Somali National University, graduating with highest honors. Ali later relocated to the United States for postgraduate studies. In 1988, he obtained a master's degree from Vanderbilt University as an AFGRAD Fellow of Economics. Between 1994–1995 and 1995–1998, he was a Bradley Fellow in George Mason University's Department of Economics and Center for Study of Public Choice, respectively. In 1998–1999, Ali was a Joel Fellow of Political Economy at the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University, where he earned a Certificate of Taxation from Harvard Law School in 1999 and a master's degree in public administration the same year. In 2000, he also obtained a Ph.D. in economics from George Mason University. Career. General. In a professional capacity, Ali served as a director in the Excise Tax Department of Somalia's Federal Ministry of Finance and Revenue in the mid to late 1980s. Between 1988 and 1991, he was an assistant director in research and statistics at the Ministry of Finance and Revenue. From 1993 to 1996, 1998. Ali was an adjunct professor of economics in the Department of Social Science and Public Service of Northern Virginia Community College in Alexandria, Virginia. Between 1998 and 1999, he was a teaching fellow at Harvard University's John F. Kennedy School of Government and the Harvard Institute for International Development. In the 2000s, Ali worked as a research and forecast manager for the Commonwealth of Virginia. He later moved to Niagara County in New York State, where he was an associate professor of economics in the Department of Commerce of Niagara University, having joined the school in 2003. Ali also served as a consultant for various international organizations, including the World Bank and the United Nations Development Program. His main academic areas of concentration have been in public finance, public choice and international trade. Ali's current research endeavors have centered around the impact that institutions have on economic growth. Ali has written articles for many peer-reviewed journals, including the Journal of Business and Economics Research, International Advances in Economic Research, and the Journal of Public Choice. In 2001, a paper of his titled Political Stability, Stable Economic Policies and Growth, an empirical investigation that was published in the Atlantic Economic Journal, was awarded the year's Best Article Award. Ali is also an active member of various economic organizations, including the International Atlantic Economic Society, the American Economic Association and the Southern Economic Association. Transitional Federal Government. On June 12, 2010, Ali was appointed the Transitional Federal Government of Somalia's Minister of Planning and International Cooperation, as well as one of several deputy prime ministers selected for the position by the former Premier Mohamed Abdiweli Mohamed. He served as an integral part of a technocratic cabinet. Prime Minister of Somalia. Appointment. On June 19, 2011, Ali was appointed the acting Premier of Somalia after Prime Minister Mohamed abruptly resigned from office as part of a controversial agreement signed in Kampala between the President and the Parliament Speaker. A few days later, on June 23, 2011, Ali was named permanent Prime Minister. Lawmakers welcomed Ali's nomination and reaffirmed their opposition to and intention of repealing the Kampala Accord. In a session held on June 28, 2011, members of Parliament overwhelmingly approved Ali's appointment as Prime Minister. 337 of the MPs endorsed the selection, while 2 voted against it and 2 abstained. On July 23, 2011, Parliament unanimously endorsed Prime Minister Ali's selection of new cabinet officials. The ministerial posts were expanded to include an additional 9 state ministers and 26 deputy ministers, bringing a total of 53 federal ministers. 2011 drought. On July 4, 2011, in one of his first policy initiatives, Prime Minister Ali appointed a national committee to tackle the severe drought that was then affecting large parts of the country and the larger East Africa region. The committee consisted of several federal-level members of government, including the Ministers of Defense, Health, Interior, Finance, Public Works, Women's Affairs and Information. It was tasked with assessing and addressing the needs of the drought-impacted segments of the population. Special Force. In August 2011, Prime Minister Ali announced the creation of a new Special Force division of the Somali National Army, consisting of 300 trained soldiers. The unit was initially mandated with protecting relief shipments and distribution centers in Mogadishu. Besides helping to stabilize the city, the new protection force was also tasked with combating banditry and other vices. Linda Nchi. In October 2011, a coordinated operation between the Somalian military and the Kenyan military referred to as Nchi began, with Kenyan troops crossing the border into southern Somalia in pursuit of al-Shabaab militants that are alleged to have kidnapped several foreign tourists and workers inside Kenya. Prime Minister Ali, along with President of Somalia Sharif Ahmed, initially opposed the deployment of Kenyan troops into the country, as they felt it was a breach of an earlier joint defense pact reached with the Kenyan government that limited Kenya's support to logistical activities. On October 31, a Somalian delegation led by Prime Minister Ali met in Nairobi with the Kenyan Premier Raila Odinga and other government officials to iron out differences and to outline a joint strategy vis-a-vis Operation Nchi. After lengthy talks, the delegations issued a joint communiqué pledging coordinated military, political and diplomatic support for the mission, requesting that AMASOM peacekeepers police areas captured from al-Shabaab, and that the International Criminal Court begin formal investigations against the group's commanders. In addition, Prime Minister Ali urged the international community to support the joint operation, and stated that the mission would be led by Somali forces with support of Kenyan forces. The two delegations also formed a joint high-level coordinating committee to maintain regular contacts between the respective governments. In early June 2012, Kenyan forces were formally integrated into AMASOM. Analysts expect the additional troop reinforcements to help the Somali authorities gradually expand the territorial control. Marine Forces. On August 7, 2012, Prime Minister Ali announced that his government was set to re-establish the Somali Navy, which had disbanded shortly after the outbreak of the civil war in the early 1990s. Speaking to reporters in the capital, the Premier indicated that his administration wanted to create a well-trained national marine force capable of efficiently patrolling Somalia's territorial waters and putting an end to the illegal plunder of the country's resources by foreign companies and nations. He also indicated that he had asked the international community to support the Somali government's extant efforts aimed at developing its maritime defensive capacity, including the possibility of acquiring speedboats and warships to more effectively secure the country's extensive seaboard. Post-transition roadmap. Prime Minister Ali has been credited with devising the formal roadmap for the end of transition, a political process that provided clear benchmarks leading toward the establishment of permanent democratic institutions in Somalia by mid-2012, when the transitional federal government's mandate expired. In February 2012, the Premier and other Somali government officials met in the northeastern town of Garo to discuss post-transition political arrangements. After extensive deliberations attended by regional actors and international observers, the conference ended in a signed agreement between Prime Minister Ali, TFG President Sharif Sheikh Ahmed, Speaker of Parliament Sharif Hassan Sheikh Aden, Puntland President Abdirahman Muhammad Farol, Galmudug President Muhammad Ahmed Alaman Alusana Waljama Representative Khalif Abdul Qadir Noor, stipulating that a new 225-member bicameral parliament would be formed, with a lower house and an upper house seating 54 senators. 30% of the National Constituent Assembly is earmarked for women. C. The President is to be appointed via a constitutional election, and D. The Prime Minister is selected by the President and she then names his/her cabinet. On June 23, 2012, the Somali federal and regional leaders met again and approved a draft constitution after several days of deliberation. The National Constituent Assembly overwhelmingly passed the new constitution on August 1, with 96% voting for it, 2% against it, and 2% abstaining. 2012 presidential elections. In early August 2012, Prime Minister Ali officially announced his intention to present himself as a presidential candidate in Somalia's 2012 elections. Speaking before a gathering of hundreds of supporters in Mogadishu, Ali highlighted his administration's various achievements during its brief tenure, saying that, "If you appreciate all the hard work and the national obligations done by my government, then you'll be giving me your votes." Ali was among the 4 contestants that made it to the second round of voting. However, he and another candidate subsequently dropped out, leaving former TFG President Sharif Sheikh Ahmed to contest the presidency with the eventual winner, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. End of term. Ali's term as Prime Minister of Somalia ended on 6 October 2012, when newly elected President Mohamud appointed entrepreneur and economist Abdiweli Mohamed to the office. Federal Parliament. Following the establishment of the Federal Parliament of Somalia in August 2012, Ali briefly served as an MP in the new legislature. He represented Gilkayu constituency,